However, President Obama was not headed for Cheyenne Mountain. He was instructed and rerouted to instead land at the subject of tonight's episode, the Denver International Airport.
We're live. Cheers.
That was more than I thought I poured.
That was big.
Sorry.
Wow. All right, here we go. Well, hello everyone who sneaks shots up at the bar while they're at a nice family lunch. Welcome to Drunken Demonic. I'm your pal, Jamie, and this is...
Oh, I'm Peter. I'm the forever guest.
You're not a forever guest.
I am the guest.
You
dude.
are a host,
It
and you
says-
know that.
No, I'm the forever guest. I'm like the demon that hangs out in the attic, and it would go away if only someone took the time to go up and say, "Hey, let's burn that creepy doll that's been up there forever and free ourselves of all these like weird tappings and slammings that are going on through the night." That's kind of how I am. I'm like a forever guest. You can just get rid of me if you burn the dolls.
If you burn the doll, you're not gonna get a good sequel.
Ooh.
Well, with that being said,
Foreshadowing.
thank you again. On tonight's episode, we are going to talk about the Denver International Airport. And I'm sure a lot of you know about all the crazy ass conspiracies about it. And we're going to go a little deeper than that.
Yeah, on the show tonight, we're not going to just cover the conspiracies surrounding DAA. We are also going to cover the construction, the history, the questionable art pieces, and what led DIA to be the absolute shit sandwich of a conspiracy that it is today. But before we get to all that, let's discuss our sponsors for this episode.
All right. So usually I just drink Modelo, correct?
Dude, you literally have the hat on.
I know.
Are you not drinking Modelo?
No.
Oh my God.
So every episode, I bring Modelo or Pacifico, and you're like, I have these seltzers that I fucking hate, and I'm like, hey man, I'm just drinking Modelo. It's really good, and you're like, oh whatever. So I thought I would branch out for your sake, and I'd bring something else.
Dude, I like your sense of adventure.
Yeah. So with that being said, I got La Cerveza from Snake River Brewing.
Ooh.
Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Love that.
It's a Mexican style lager.
What are your thoughts? I know you've had more than one already.
How can you tell?
The 6-pack is... Oh, shit. Never mind.
5-pack, dog.
You're holding the first one in your hand, but I know you've had a sip. What do you think?
I think it's great.
That's great. I love
it
that.
It tastes like it's like a Negro. So it's
Okay.
like, it's the darker
Yeah, the amber
of the lagers.
Yeah.
An amber style lager. And they're celebrating their 30th anniversary, so congrats to Snake River for making this beer that I'm having.
That's pretty cool artwork on the can. I kind of like that.
Right?
Good for you, Snake River. And
I'm guessing that's the Snake River.
I'm guessing, dude.
If I was to guess,
you little detective,
I'm a big time guesser. Oh, Nancy Drew.
Season 5, True Detective.
Oh, Nancy Drew over here. Telling
Jamie
you.
and beer.
Remember, guys, they recommend a squeeze of lime with this.
See, that's what I never understood about Mexican lager. You're going to put lime in it anyways. Why not just put the lime in it? Like, brew it with the lime.
Well, have you ever had the beers that actually brew with lime?
I have. That's actually
I
what
think
kind of
they-
brought it to mind.
I think they're not so good.
I could agree with that.
Yeah. So
We will not mention them by name because
No.
we like to support that brand.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
So you answered your own question.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not a beer drinker. I don't like it with the pre-brewed lime, but like,
You just said, you were like, hey, I wonder why, if they suggest to put a lime in this, why do they not just brew it with lime? And then I was like, hey, because those ones that do it with lime are bad. And then you're like, oh my God, you're so right.
Yeah.
Did you forget?
Maybe I just wanted to agree with you for a minute, dude.
I get it.
We spend so much time disagreeing that sometimes I just want to.
About damn time. All right, Peter.
All right, my turn.
What are your sponsors, sir?
Dude, I straight up have the worst seltzer groupings of seltzers I've ever had.
Yeah.
Love the beer company itself. Denver Beer, big ups. All right. This is the best one, and I can say it's the worst seltzer I've had, besides the other the other three that were in the pack. This is the Cucumber Lime Spritzer, craft hard seltzer from Denver Beer Company. I just want to say, like, do better. I'm not looking for a sponsorship on this one. All the other ones, I was like, maybe like, hey, like, this is not great, but like, I like it.
Let me try it.
Dude, give a sip.
Let me get you
This
sip.
one is the best one. I should point that out.
It's so warm. You just like had it in your hand this whole time?
No, it's been in my car for 6 hours.
Are you fucking kidding me? I don't think it's that bad.
It's not.
I also like Denver Beer Company, so
Yeah, I
don't
big ups
associate
for Denver Beer Company.
Don't associate me with him, Mr. Negative, all the time about seltzers.
I am super negative. I don't know why you bring this up every time. I don't know why I drink them, because I straight up don't like that.
I don't know.
But I can't.
I don't know what to tell you.
Beer makes me sick because I'm a baby.
You ever hurt Tum Tum?
Yeah, dude, I got bad tums. I got bad guts.
Just sip whiskey, dude. What else do you have to do?
Speaking of which, let's move on to.
Here we go. Here she is.
We have this much left of Peach Street Bourbon, made out in Palisade, Colorado.
We know that for sure.
Yep. We didn't already record this episode and go through this and discuss all of this last time.
Newsflash, we got drunk.
Jamie, what are your thoughts on the Peach Street?
It was bitey when I shot it, but when I was sipping it, I think it's wonderful.
Let's take just a little sippy. See what we think.
Like it.
Dude, I fucking love bourbon.
It's like malty, corny.
It's so good.
It is. So why do you not just drink bourbon the whole time?
Well, because you're coming in with 2 sponsors.
Well, because I like beer.
I don't want to be like the guy that's only sponsored by one company, even though, like, oh, yeah.
Just so you know, we're not sponsored by you.
No, none of these guys have even authorized us to use their product.
No.
And claim that we're sponsored.
I'm pretty sure before we get a sponsorship, we'll get a cease and desist.
I was going to say we should look for a lawyer sponsor before any liquor sponsors.
I think we're not gonna get a lawyer sponsor.
I bet we could find.
They're like, oh yeah, I'll do a pro bono as long as you pay me $5,000 at the end.
Yeah, but I bet we could find some guy that like probably committed some like white collar crimes and needs to do like a whole bunch of like legal defense stuff off, like, you know, without being paid, and he's just like, oh yeah, you guys have tons and tons of stuff I can represent you for. Let's just knock it all out. I'll just be on retainer pretty much as for free as sponsored. You guys are sponsored league, like what do they call it?
Sponsor league. I think you said it right.
Sponsor and now client. Yeah, we're sponsored. We could be sponsored clients from a lawyer.
Yeah. Would you say say hypothetically a lawyer got a DUI and then they got sentenced to coach a hockey team because they used to be really good at hockey? Is that what you're suggesting?
I would definitely take this completely hypothetical, and not at all has ever been portrayed in any type of movie or Disney program, because there's both. Oh,
you figured out what I was
named
talking
about?
Gordon Bombay, dude.
It's funny that they named both of his names after gins. So,
yeah, after you got a DUI, it's like obviously this drunk.
I'm Gordon Bombay.
All right. Well, with that being said, do you want to move into our next segment?
Dude, I think we've finally figured out what we're going to call the next section. It's called Hell on Earth. And it is where we talk about the weird fucked up news involving horror or true crime or spooky, scary stuff that we love talking about. We're calling it Hell on Earth.
Like scary stuff, or you meant scary?
I meant scary. I said scary, but you don't have to bring that up every time.
Make fun of your impediment.
No question. Jamie, your story's up first.
This happened back in July. What I found, and
didn't work at all.
I don't think it's true. So there's a kid that started a TikTok, and he talked about how in his small hometown at the restaurant that he worked at, they kept finding roadkill on the side of the road. Like a crazy amount of roadkill in this small town where they said there's one road. And they found it sewed up, and then they opened it up, and then they found human remains.
I know the story.
And then also animal remains. So I guess I could show you, like the guy said the name and stuff like that. I can show you the video if you'd like, but I tried to research it after watching this. Didn't find shit. Like nothing. Crickets. Like
it's just the most redneck thing I've ever fucking heard of.
So, and then
it also surprisingly is going to tie into our story for this episode. Just in case you're remind me to bring this back up, because it does kind of tie back in.
How?
We haven't gotten there yet.
Okay. So I'm going to find it right now. Sorry.
Okay. I will say that it's hard for me to do this segment because I refuse to TikTok. And it's not that...
Why?
Because you're such a cat. I don't know. I'm a fucking weirdo, and I get nervous about weird privacy things from that way.
Here we go.
What's your small town drama right now? I'll go first. We just found out that one of our local restaurant owners has been unaliving animals and using their bodies to stuff the grinded up remains of their victims, and just been sewing them up and leaving them along our only highway. That way cars could run them over and we'd just think that they were roadkill, but I guess they didn't think that at some point we would get suspicious about the influx of roadkill, and upon examining these animals a lot closer, found that they had been like sewn up. So obviously our local police department investigated this and found that, oh, these animals aren't just animal bodies, these animals have human remains in them. And it's caused quite a stir. Anyway, this is him, Thomas Sullivan. And I think he's going away for a long time. So far, it's estimated that it was 6 men and 3 women. And that's just absolutely crazy.
So it also is crazy is that I think that this is a fucking made-up story.
Okay. I was going to say, I thought that I actually knew this story. It's not at all that. There's some other story that I was thinking of. This is interesting, though. It still ties into what we're going to talk about tonight. Yeah. You think the whole thing's made up?
100%.
Because that's a fucking wild story. Wait, so this guy that he mentioned, what does it have to do with his restaurant?
He owns a restaurant.
He's just a restaurant owner. That's just like to put things in context. Like this guy is an upstanding citizen, is what he's trying to say.
He worked at the restaurant.
He just
that
worked there?
kid works at the restaurant.
Oh,
that guy owns.
I see. Okay, I was like, what does the restaurant have to do? I thought they were like serving this like meat.
No.
Let's call it pate.
What
at the restaurant?
What did you do when we were watching that? Did you just like think about something else?
No. I was thinking about something else when you were talking about it, because I got in my own head about the story that I knew. That's a crazy story. If that's real, you couldn't find anything.
So as I said, I literally cannot find a single thing that backs it up. Or like someone that's convicted. But I did find that there's also the name Thomas Sullivan was part of a satanic ceremony in 1866, and that's where I think the name came from. He murdered this Thomas Sullivan murdered his wife in 1866 and said it was Satanism.
Question: do you think that it's the same Thomas Sullivan.
Is that a real question?
Yeah, dude, he's a vampire, and he's just hiding all his crimes by stuffing dead animals or stuffing cows and stuff like that with the remains of his victims.
And that's why he was never found
Yeah.
or convicted?
Yeah, you're talking about a dude from the mid 1800s, late 1800s.
Late 1800s.
Yeah. Is it possible that he's been around for, I don't know, going on 140 years?
Maybe.
As a vampire, potentially. I'm just saying maybe we don't rule that one out as could just be a vampire. And now we know his name.
Sure. Yeah,
I don't know if that matters.
Thomas Sullivan.
Can you do anything if you know their name? What is it if you know their name? Oh, that's demons. Yeah, if you know the demon's real name, then you can control them. It happens in exorcisms. That's why they're like, "Tell me your name."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
You're going 1,000 mile minutes. You're stressing me out.
am. I don't mean to stress you out. Here, I'm gonna slow down.
Are you excited about all these things? So that's my.
This
story.
is me as a normal person.
I
Like
know
you
that.
know me well enough to know that.
That's
Like
what
I just I don't know.
You don't
I'm
explain
just.
yourself to me. It's fine.
Was Warren Zevon? I think said he's just an excitable boy.
Maybe
And that's me, dude. I'm just excitable. You tell me something, I get all hyped up about it.
You think it's demons? You think it's demons? You think it's vampires?
I don't think
I
it's
think it's
demons. I think it's vampires, dude.
I think it's a bullshit kid on TikTok.
Yeah. Anyways,
call me a naysayer.
That's
right.
good to know though, because you came in hot with a story, and they're like, but I'm pretty sure it's total bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's
100%.
fine. I was gonna say it's hard for me. I tune in a little bit to most of what I know from true crime is kind of older stories. So when we do this segment, I have to find new stuff, and it's a little difficult for me because I refuse to go on TikTok, and apparently that's where all current news happens.
It's not true.
For true crime, I don't know. But anyways,
Why do you refuse TikTok so much?
because I don't want the Chinese government to have any part of my algorithm.
Dude,
I know it's ridiculous.
Dude, don't worry, dude. It's Trump's America now. It's not gonna happen.
We're just living in it.
All right. Do you have a story?
I do have a
you brought
story
to me, sir.
This is not that wild of a story. That's a crazy story.
No, I'm really good at this.
I have a story about this girl named Carly Madison Gregg.
Okay.
She just recently appeared in court for a preliminary hearing, and that recording was released a couple months ago. Carly was arrested in March after she allegedly murdered her mother, Ashley Smiley, as well as seriously hurt her stepfather, Heath Smiley, during 2 separate shootings at their Brandon, Mississippi home. The big thing about this is that Carly is 14 years old. She is being tried as an adult. And the craziest part of this story, I don't know why I find this so fascinating, is that the press is also being given complete clearance to document the trial, which for minors never happens.
How else are they gonna make a Netflix series?
That's literally, I think this is what this is
This 14-year-old killer.
The shit
Oh, yeah,
girl's
100%.
gone bad.
Did you say shit girl's gone bad?
No, I didn't. Just shit girl's gone bad.
Damn, this shit girl's gone bad.
Anyways, this is just it's a very ongoing story. Just I believe recently, she is scheduled to testify in the next few weeks. She will be on the stand, and it's going to be interesting to not just hear her testify as a minor, as well as her lawyer seems to be fucking up a lot, where he keeps saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do our own psych eval and we'll submit that to the court." And it's been he was given 10 days to do that, and it's been 2 weeks. And the judge, I think that's why he was like, "Nope, we're sentencing this person as a not as a minor, as an adult, and we're also we're proceeding with the trial with her as an adult, and media is given full access." Which hardly ever happens with cases involving minors, whether
That's
they're
what
tried
you-
as adults or not.
That's what you're saying.
So,
Where's this at? Did you say that?
Mississippi. Yeah, Rankin County, Mississippi.
Damn near.
So, anyways, I just think that's crazy.
That is a crazy story.
Yep. We'll keep you updated because I'm interested in this case to see what the fuck happens with this 14-year-old girl that murdered her mother and tried to murder her stepfather, in multiple shootings, not just like at the same time.
Did they say where the gun was, or like whose gun it was?
I have not seen that.
All right.
I'll dig in more. We'll dig in more for the next episode.
Always a little taste.
Yep.
Little taste.
A little sprinkle there.
All right. Well, at that point, I think the next segment we're going into is
horror news.
I think it's called horror news.
Yeah, horror news. And
Horror news.
that's our song that introduces it.
Okay.
We'll have it flash across like it's an 80s like
No, I'm not gonna do any of
shit
this.
you should know is what I think about. Like, you know, those videos where it's like a little rainbow that like shoots across the sky.
Sure.
Horror news.
Basically, this is just us talking about the horror movies we're excited about, right?
That is correct.
So I think last episode we talked about how we were pretty bummed about not being able to watch Longlegs. And I'm pretty sure I watched Longlegs.
I have also seen Longlegs.
So, with that being said, I could say, Hail Satan.
I think we should definitely fucking say Hail Satan.
Yeah.
Will you cheers me on that?
Sure, dude.
Because
Do you want to give out your initial impression, or should we save it for a time where we want to get drunk and talk?
I think we'll do for sure. Like, let's do just a small little review. I thought that the movie was great.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that it was the best movie I've ever seen, and I feel a little tricked by the movie because I thought that it was going to be. I don't know. Are we doing a spoiler thing? I guess
I don't think we should spoil.
The movie's not what I thought it was going to be. What I did expect.
You didn't think it was going to be a movie about a serial killer, or what?
I knew it was going to be that, but the movie turns out to be far more than that. There's
Damn
a lot
that?
more.
What'd you say? Damn that?
It turns out to be a lot more than that. How do you want me to say that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Use your words. Sound it out.
Anyways, I thought it was good, and I think there were certain parts that I thought were fantastic and certain parts that I thought were lacking. I thought that Nick Cage was like very good, but so ridiculously Nick Cage in the movie. That like he honestly doesn't even really look like himself, but literally the way that he is as a person is exactly who this Longlegs character was. I don't think that's not spoiling anything, is it? We all know that Nick Cage is Longlegs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you think Nick Cage 100%, like, you couldn't tell the two if you saw Nick Cage and Longlegs next to each other, you couldn't tell a difference?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No, not at all. I'm saying I think they made him look like they had some fantastic what do you want to call it? Like makeup people that made him look fucking weird as shit. But the way that Nicolas Cage acts is only to be done by Nicolas Cage. And I think that he was like, if you wanted a person that acted like this person, the only reasonable option would be Nicolas Cage. And I don't know. I just think that he is so good at being exactly who he is. And if that fits your movie, that's great. And if it doesn't, it fucking ruins it. I think that he had a really good part in this. And I think it worked really well. I just literally laughed every time that Nicolas Cage was like being Nicolas Cage in this movie.
I don't think it seemed like Nicolas Cage at all, other than like the little over the tops.
Yeah, well, but he's always over the top.
Name this another Nicolas Cage movie that you think he was exactly like this.
I think
He also had like maybe 7 scenes in this movie.
yeah, he was not in the movie a ton, but and like I think maybe I'm being like a little hyperbolic here. He is very good in the movie, and the scenes that he portrays a very awesome version of a completely deranged killer.
There you go. That sounds way better.
What I think, like,
that's so Nicolas Cage of him.
Yeah, it's 100% like, and from reports that I've seen, he's like, no, I'll never play another serial killer again. I don't like it. I don't like violence, and I don't like perpetrating violence and advocating for that kind of thing.
Except for people ripping my face off and switching it with John Travolta.
What did you think? Sorry, I haven't let you talk at all.
That's crazy. You never do that.
Just go.
I thought it was entertaining. Had a good time. I thought it was exactly what I expected. It was going to be a good horror movie that they overhyped. The biggest thing, I don't know if this is going to be a spoiler, but if I was an FBI, ooh, cool. If I was an FBI agent and I saw a guy that looked like powder walking around and going cuckoo, 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 I'd be like, yeah, that's the that's the murderer. That's the guy that's murdering people.
Yo,
and people are like, how do you know? I'm like, how do you not know that that's fucking the guy murdering people?
What do you mean? How do I know? It's the
or
dude
like
that looks like he's falling apart inside, and there's some weird body that's holding his entire form together.
Or like, and how did no one report this? So that's the part I thought was like, okay.
I think that,
and he was so fucking white. He literally looked like,
oh yeah, for sure, he was Snow White. Like, the opening scenes are this little girl talking to Nicolas Cage as Longlegs.
Yes.
And we're not spoiling anything here. Mm-hmm. He's wearing all white, and he's all fucked up from, it looks like really, really bad plastic surgery. Yeah, he like blends in with the snow.
It's not plastic surgery because this is literally in like 1992 is when this movie is based in.
What do you mean it's not plastic surgery? They have plastic surgery in it.
Not like that. He looked like 2020 plastic surgery in that. Anyway, sorry. I digress.
Wait,
we said we're not. He looked like the plastic surgery that people in their 60s have right now. Not in the 90s.
Fair.
That was what I was saying.
Okay, I get that. All right, I understand that.
Yeah, that was it. And he was also so very white. Like powder coated. He looked like a goddamn donut.
Do we want to like? Yeah, he was literally a powder donut.
I say we save that for maybe another thing.
Over tossed.
Over the top.
Yeah.
Over the top.
Do we want to do a rating at all, or do we just want to say, "Hey, we saw it.
We watched this. We watched this. We're going."
I'm pumped. It was like, I think, not that I was at all let down by the movie. I think that the movie was very good. I think my favorite part of this movie was how excited I was to go see a horror movie. It like made me feel like a kid again, where it was like, I was like so like, oh, I literally can't wait until I get to see this movie. And we both were able to take advantage of like the world coming together to like go see this movie. Like I was down in Denver and like convinced someone to go with me, and you were up here. Like, somehow they didn't have the movie when it first came out, but they had it show up this weekend, and like the universe works in mysterious ways, and we were able to both catch this movie. And I'm like, I think that was my favorite part of Longlegs, is just the anticipation and excitement about this movie. And I think that this is something that I think we'll probably end up seeing more often, is people marketing so heavily online. And I mean,
like one big fucked up Christmas.
Yeah.
I think every year, like we've talked about it, every year there's one movie that's like, hey, this is going to be the best one that's ever fucking happened. And we are still right here. We're like, oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was pumped. I thought it was
Let's move on.
good enough
We're
movie.
rambling.
Yep.
Let's go on to what was the last thing we're going to talk about. So the next thing we wanted to talk about is we were excited that they announced officially that they were going to come out with a Thanksgiving 2.
Is this done by Eli Roth again?
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume so.
Dude,
I didn't look at
I honestly haven't seen anything on this. So you told me about it and I was super pumped to like even know that they were doing a second one because it was just such a ridiculously awesome, like, it's not a joke movie. It's like a Grindhouse trailer that turned into a movie, and I thought that the movie, we both thought
was
the
it a
movie
Grindhouse trailer?
Mhm. Yep.
From Death Proof?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yep. And so it turned into a real movie, and I thought the movie was fantastic, and I'm so excited to see a second one because, yeah, exactly, like chef's kiss to like these ridiculously like not played out, like just classic slasher horror movies that
there hasn't been a good like slasher chain other than Scream, and I think they're like doing a really good job of making Scream confusing now. So.
They're doing a good job revitalizing it. I know that they are now in works on Scream 7, which is going to feature the original cast from the first 3.
No Jenna Ortega.
No Jenna Ortega. They're bringing back the OG crew.
Matthew Lillard.
I don't know if Matthew Lillard's on board. I know Neve Campbell's on board. I know Gail Weathers. What's her name? She was in Friends.
Oh, Courtney Cox.
David Arquette is back. Dude, Officer Doofy. That's from was that Scary Movie 1?
Scary movie.
But anyways, super pumped for Thanksgiving 2 to go see that.
Yeah, all I saw was I think they posted on social media like a picture that just said Thanksgiving 2 coming soon. So I assume it'll be a couple years, but got me excited because literally that first one was a breath of fresh air. Like, I remember like coming out of the theater being like, thank fucking God.
Yep.
Thankfully, thank you. They instead of being like, there's gonna be twists, there's gonna be turns, there's gonna be this, like we're gonna give you a fucking horror movie, just like you watched one in the 80s, and we're gonna make it gory and make it fun.
It was perfectly like an homage to like the classic slasher genre.
And he also fucking baked that chick in the oven. Like
yeah, dude. Like they had the ridiculous, funny like deaths. Like we don't have to be meta all the time about these things. We can just be silly, and I think that like it's funny that Eli Roth is just doing these like awesome, cool, original slashers.
Yeah.
No, I'm pumped about
just
it.
That one.
Yep.
All right. With that ado, I think I don't have anything else to go through. Do you?
Dude, I'm so ready to introduce you to the main event.
Okay. I'm guessing that you don't have anything that's over the top or hitting me with a big old banger. Or are you just going in?
What do you mean a big old banger?
I assumed you're going to hit this story with a big old headline.
Oh, dude, for sure. I have written a phenomenal intro to this main event.
It's so great. My intro is so great. You're going to love it.
It's going to be the greatest intro.
The greatest intro. All right.
People say that I have the greatest intros. It's been said. No one denies it. I have the greatest intros all time. On September 27th, 2011, one NASA scientist sprinted down a hallway 13B of the Langley NASA Research Center, a crumpled piece of paper in his left hand. He rounded the corner and entered his station chief's office. Panting, he slapped down the piece of paper, which contained the image of a meteor, big enough to destroy half of the Earth's population. The meteor was headed straight for Earth. The chief officer immediately picked up the phone and got in contact with Air Force One, currently over the panhandle of Oklahoma. Instead of continuing on to California, President Obama would need to reroute to seek shelter. Cheyenne Mountain is located in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and is central command for U.S. defense. It has its own airport and has miles of underground bunkers built deep into the foothills of Colorado Springs. However, President Obama was not headed for Cheyenne Mountain. He was instructed and rerouted to instead land at the subject of tonight's episode, the Denver International Airport.
Whoa! Did you see that? Did you see that coming?
Yeah, dude. Why didn't he go to Cheyenne Mountain? We don't know.
We'll find
Just
out.
kidding. We totally know.
I don't know, really.
You're gonna know by the end of the episode.
Oh, God, I hope so.
All right, folks. On February 28th, 1995, United Flight 1062 departed Denver International Airport, headed for Kansas City International Airport, becoming the first flight to depart from the newly constructed airport, making it the official opening of DIA. With its official opening, Denver International Airport would replace the previous Stapleton Airport, which had served as the main U.S. flight hub in Colorado for 66 years and, you guessed it, 6 months. 666, baby.
Shout of the devil.
You guessed it. All right. While Stapleton was at the time of its phasing out still running in fine order, there were a number of problems that constituted the move to Denver International Airport. First, when Stapleton was built, the population of Denver was less than 300,000 people. To put that in context, at the opening of DIA, the city of Denver had reached almost 500,000. Combine that with the rising popularity of air travel in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, it became evident that the Stapleton Airport was just too small. Along with an increase in demand that the growing population had on the Stapleton Airport, the city of Denver's increasing popularity had also made Denver a new haven for businesses. High-rise buildings and skyscrapers began to populate the Denver downtown and the city's skyline, which posed some challenges for the air travel at Stapleton Airport. It still is, to this day, one of the most iconic, technically, images or graphics is the Denver city skyline.
Just because of the cash register building?
I guess. What's the cash register building? I don't know what any of the buildings are called. I just know, we have the Nuggets hats that have, the Denver, skyline on it.
I think the cash register building is the one that kind of looks like this at the top.
Okay. Is that the one that's dude, I was driving through Denver the other day.
One. Yeah, it's the biggest one.
And there's one that's it looks like its strip is ripping apart. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
It's as you're driving into the convention center, or no, not the convention center, but the stock show center.
Mm-hmm.
It's you can pretty much just look over the top of the old stock show center and see it. It's crazy. It looks like it's entirely ripping in half.
That sucks.
Well, there were also continuous noise complaints filed by residents whose homes were constantly being rattled by the jet engines taking off and landing. The solution to all of these problems was simple: build a new airport. However, the construction of DIA would be anything but simple. In 1988, Adams County voters approved an annexation of a 54 square mile plot of land to begin development of the new Denver International Airport. This is a massive piece of land. Just so we're putting this into context, it is twice the size of Manhattan, as well as the second largest by square mileage airport in the world, only behind King Fahd International Airport in Saudi Arabia.
Makes sense.
Crazy.
Yeah.
This is a massive airport. All right. First,
for also being not that big of a city back in the 90s.
At the time of its construction, I think that Denver was 22nd in the the Stapleton Airport was the 22nd busiest airport in the nation.
Yeah.
And they built the largest airport, obviously in North America, and all of, I'm going to sound stupid here.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia in Europe?
No, it's in The Middle East,
That's not a continent.
isn't it?
No. You have Europe,
Saudi
you have
Arabia.
Africa, you have Asia. You
So
have,
it's definitely Asia then, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it's like, yeah.
I always knew it was the Middle East. That's where like Iraq.
Middle East. I think it's in Europe.
Okay, let's find out.
I could be wrong. Hey,
We're
yo,
both-
all up in the chat. Yo, hit us up in the chat. All right. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I'm gonna keep going back.
Dots in the chat, baby.
Yo, dude, dots up in the chat. Hit them up. Hit the dots.
I digress. Where
That is our third sponsor. Do we want to hit that real quick?
No, I want to
Okay.
talk about it.
Fine. All right. Ground would break on the new airport in September of 1989, with the promise of being open for travel in the spring of 1993 and being built on a massive budget at the time of $2.9 billion. Not only would they miss the deadline promised by almost 2 years, but they would end up almost doubling the original budget, as the project would end up costing $4.8 billion by the time of opening. Here's some interesting facts about the construction. Most of the time spent on DAA was below ground. They spent so much time on an automated baggage system, which was going to be the feature and the future of airports. They built this baggage system that would scan things and then send it to different terminals or different gates, and would literally shoot. Did you like that?
Bags. Shoot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shoot. Like Jordan. I don't think that's how he shot, though. I think it was more like a curl like that.
It's like a gay Jordan.
Yeah. Like that. No, this is less.
Nothing wrong with that.
That one's Jordan. This is the normal shot. Yeah. Whoa. There we go. All right. Where were we?
You were talking about the baggage
yeah.
claim underneath.
They were gonna literally shoot suitcases into plane. Like, what do you call the lower part? The storage compartments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, into the bottom of the plane so that they could load them that much faster. They wouldn't have any baggage handlers at all, except for inside the plane. They would load them and balance them as needed.
Do you remember how much it costs for them to do this?
They spent well over $100 million
Mm-hmm.
dollars
That's what I remember too.
to build this baggage system that did not work at all.
Yeah.
Now, it's really interesting because normally in airports, airlines themselves are responsible for handling their own baggage. You fly Delta. Delta takes care of all the baggage, and if you go Delta to Frontier or whatever, Delta handles the Frontier, or Delta handles it, then they give it to Frontier, this and that. Denver was like, hey, you don't need to worry about that cost. We'll take care of it. And they built this stupid baggage system that 100% never ended up working.
Now, I think they tried it once or twice.
Yeah. The New York Times actually showed up for the, what do they call it? Like the grand opening of the baggage system. And I think the term that they used was clothes flying everywhere and bags being launched into the side of airplanes.
I don't see a problem with that.
Not at all. All right. Another part of the construction that was totally crazy. Workers reported seeing bunker doors as well as secret tunnels that they were not allowed to enter. Different contractors were hired for different areas, and it's very interesting. Apparently, once contractors had finished with their part, they were not continued on to other parts. They were fired or let go, so that no single contractor had really a whole lot of understanding of how the entire scale of the airport was being built.
They would get fired and rehired to do other parts.
Yeah. So I guess
Never
fired
completed.
and then brought back on a totally different side of the airport.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you got 3/4 of the way through this tunnel. Someone else is going to finish it up, and you're going to actually take a couple months off, and then you're going to come back.
Here's a
way
doorway
over.
to build.
Yeah, exactly. Another part that was really interesting, early in construction, and this is all hearsay, this part specifically, they built 5 or so buildings. I can't remember if it was 5 or 7, and they were technically built in the wrong spot. So what they decided to do was dig out beneath them and lower them down and bury these buildings. 7-story buildings. They decided, hey, one, they just built them in the wrong spot. And two, instead of demolishing them, they were like, hey, why don't we just fucking bury them? That'd be a super good idea, right? This makes no fucking sense to me. I don't know.
Because they needed it for down there.
No, they don't. That's not what they say.
Yeah.
We're talking about the facts here, dude. We're not getting into any conjecture quite yet.
Sorry.
All right. Another fact that we have, there were 5,300 feet of fiber optic cable installed. That is a shit ton. To put things in perspective, from LA to New York is less than 3,000. This is almost double that. So you can pretty much go from one side of the country across and then back with how much fiber optic cable. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you there.
It's okay. I'm super strong.
Yeah, look at it.
Brick shit house, dude.
Another crazy part of this is that there was 100 million cubic yards of dirt that were removed from the Denver International Airport. That's way too much for what they claim is 5 layers or 6 layers of subfloor, right? Also, for how much subfloor they claim is there, that's also too much. They also imported granite from all over the world, even though the project was grossly over budget from the get-go. Mm-hmm. The last part that is a fact that we have is when the airport opened, it had 88 operational gates, which is not bad, but it's almost 40 gates less than the original Stapleton Airport. And the whole point of moving from Stapleton was to have more gates.
Just more gates, or just like?
I mean, more space, obviously. Yeah, more space, obviously.
So I didn't know that. It was 40.
Some other things that we should talk about. They have the longest runway in North America do you know what you actually had the name of the runway. Do you remember what it was?
No. I just know it's the biggest. It's bigger than any commercial airplane needs.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. They also installed, like at the Stapleton Airport, they had the runways very close together, and they only came from the east and the west because you can't, from where the Stapleton Airport was located, you can't land from I was thinking north and south. Mm-hmm. The runways are running north and south. You can't land at the Stapleton Airport coming from the west because you have to drop down from the mountains, and it's too quick to do so. So they had 3 runways. They had a north, a south, and an east. The Denver International Airport has multiple runways in all 4 directions.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes, there's 4
main ones.
Kind of. They run and like they come together, so they're actually two at a thing.
Oh.
So there's 8 technically. Yep, and they are in a oddly shaped position that we will cover later.
We're not going to talk about it right now.
Oh, you want to talk about it now? Yeah, they're
it's up to you.
Kind of in the shape of a swastika.
Yep. And then like
they definitely are.
Kind of broken piece one.
I don't know. It's like it's really tough.
You see the picture. It's like I could see where people could say yes. And I can
100%. No. I can see people being like, hey, that looks like a swastika. And you're like, fuck yeah, I kind of see it. And, you know, I get the fact that like, hey, you want to have the way that your runways are laid out. You want to have all access to all different ways because Colorado gets kind of a little bit iffy with weather. But dude, as an architectural, like as a designer of it, don't you like kind of like there's certain designs maybe you just stay away from? And I think that the swastika might be one of those.
Well, they also talked about how they wanted to have a runway from every side. And the way that they planned it was to be against the wind currents, I'm pretty sure. So that's why they ended up being like that.
Yeah.
And so it was like completely
it's not like
coincidental.
Like by the book swastika at all. We can definitely say that.
It's not your good old fashioned granddad's.
It ain't your granddad's swastika. That's for damn sure. But it does bear a striking resemblance, and I just don't know how you pass that through. How that gets through your checks.
I'm just saying, I've never heard another airport that said that their runway looks like a swastika.
You were correct. I had to obviously no, not even once. No, I will 100% say that there is no other airport that has this ridiculous amount of conspiracy theories.
100%. No.
All right. The next part that we're going to talk about is the dedication capstone at the Denver International Airport. It is absolutely littered. Put it in the chat right there. Sorry, we're up here. We'll put up a picture of it. It is littered with Masonic and Freemason symbolism. There's also a very interesting name on the capstone. It is the
New World. I don't remember it.
New World Airport Commission. Upon further review, this commission does not actually exist. It seems to be a collaboration between several what we would call small businesses. The main ones are listed underneath the New World Airport Commission. They decided to name it this because of the reference to Dvorak's New World Symphony. I think it's oddly on the head for conspiracies. So,
or throwing a Freemason sign on the front of it.
Yeah, dude, all of it. It's just like they're just asking for fucking trouble. All right. So the first name under the New World Airport Commission as one of these small businesses is the Martin Marietta Aeronautics. Here are some significant events along the company's timeline. Martin Marietta Aeronautics. In 1961, Martin Marietta Aeronautics was founded. In 1963, Martin Marietta starts building floating nuclear power plant MH-1A as part of the Army Nuclear Power Program. In 1986, it wins the contract to convert the Titan II intercontinental ballistic missiles into space launch vehicles. The Martin Company built the original ICBMs as well. In 1993, Martin Marietta acquires GE Aerospace for $3 billion, allowing combined marketing of complementary systems. An example, Martin Marietta's Titan missiles launching GE Aerospace satellites. Here's the big kicker, though. In 1995, as the airport is opening in Denver, Martin Marietta merged with the Lockheed Corporation to form what company, Jamie?
Toys R Us.
No, Lockheed fucking Martin.
I knew that's what you were going to say. I was fucking with you.
Yeah, no, I know. You know the answers to these things.
Yeah, I know.
I do like the Toys R Us.
That's why you're
the giraffe.
That's why you're asking me.
Why didn't they just keep the same giraffe?
I don't know. Times are changing. They're also not a company anymore.
Lockheed Martin?
Toys R Us.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Lockheed Martin's doing really good. Yeah, they're doing quite well. For those that don't know who Lockheed Martin is, they pretty much run most of the drone arsenal that the U.S. uses at this time.
Ballistic missiles.
Yep.
NASA,
most of our nukes are powered by Lockheed Martin rocketry.
Everything built for NASA.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything like high tech.
Does Elon use Lockheed products, dude?
I assume so.
I bet he does.
And anything that's built that's not from Lockheed Martin, it's now banned. Like DJI is banned.
I don't know what DJI is.
DJI is a Chinese company that builds drones.
Oh, okay.
It was part of the TikTok bill.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
All right. So we have fucking pretty much Lockheed Martin is our primary sponsor for the New World Airport Commission, followed right behind by Fentress Bradburn Architects. These guys are a popular architecture firm headed by Curtis Fentress that has designed several airports and is responsible for the design of the Jeppesen Terminal and its culturally significant TP design. These guys honestly don't seem that bad. They have won like tons of architectural awards and were also based out of Denver, they were an obvious choice, and don't seem to be. And other than the fact that they're on the capstone themselves, not super involved with conspiracies. But I really don't know. Maybe they're like the head of the snake or something.
I just think there's some architecture. There's some architects that are award winning.
Yeah, dude, they've designed, like, I think they are in charge. They were head architects on the Seoul, Korea airport. Obviously, DIA. There's one in Spain that they have, and they've won awards for all of their airports that they've designed. So it is good for them. Not sure about their associations and who they want to be put on the same time cap or the same capstones with, but that's not really for us to weigh in on.
There was
just kidding. We're going to.
Okay.
I think that it's bad that they're on there.
Okay.
The last one is Zimmerman Metals. I don't know anything about Zimmerman Metals. I couldn't find anything. Yeah. The last thing, the time capsule. There was a time capsule that was buried underneath this capstone. It was to be opened 100 years from when it was laid in 2094, and apparently it contains coins, a signed opening day ball from Coors Field, Mayor Wellington Webb's sneakers used, and a few Black Hawk Casino tokens, amongst other items.
From which casino?
Oh, dude, I didn't check that out. Dude, probably Lady Luck.
Probably or the Lodge.
You think? I bet it's Lady Luck, dude.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it's Luck for sure. Sweet. Well, next we're going to talk about the art in the Denver International Airport. I think that we should start out by saying that there's this cool fact that I found that of all project developments or real estate developments that take place within the city of Denver, 1% of all the profits from those developments have to be allocated to art installments at the Denver International Airport. I think that kind of explains why the shit at Denver International Airport is so fucking weird.
Just because 1% of all collections of the city?
No, but I think that, like, art, for the most part, especially in the modern era, is meant to be weird. And I think that...
You rhymed, it was funny.
Art, for the most part,
okay,
is made of farts.
Oh, lost me.
Sorry, I didn't mean to lose you. But anyways, I think that it's super important to mention that not only was DIA constructed to be an awesome new functional airport, it was meant to stand kind of outside of a normal airport function and be this cultural monument to Colorado specifically, and to represent not just, the heritage of Colorado, but also the modern version of Colorado, and including all of these different artistic examples is certainly well within the realm of like where all that funding went.
Can we also say that there was no point where the airport just like got to choose? Like they didn't decide any of the art that was going into the airport. They just let every artist do a free reign of everything.
Interesting.
There was no like, they were like, hey, here's a theme for what I want you to put in the airport. They stated that they wanted everyone to be able to
artistic freedom.
Yes.
Exactly. Oh, interesting.
So that's why a lot of this that we're about to talk about is very ironic.
Oh, okay. That's super interesting because, like, the biggest reasons and causes for concern for any of the artwork is why the fuck would you put that in an airport? This does also kind of explain it. I think it goes along with the fact that, like, they spend a ton of money trying to get local art in, and the fact that the artists are like, hey, do whatever you want. Did they tell them it was for the airport?
I don't know. That's all I know about it.
Okay. Sorry. Either way, super interesting. I think we're going to start out, and I'm going to let you handle this one because I'm going to pour myself a little drink. Okay. We'll start out with Lucifer, dude. What do you got?
So there's it's called Blue Mustang.
Oh yeah. Sorry, it's not called Lucifer.
So to the locals in Denver, it's called Lucifer, because it's a nickname from the horsemen of the apocalypse. But there is a 40-foot tall blue horse at the entryway of the airport. With not just blue, it's completely blue horse with orange or red hair and brightly glowing red eyes.
Yeah, it's an absolute terrifying sight, particularly at night.
I love every second of it.
Oh, well, yeah, but like that's because we like this shit.
Yeah.
This, I mean, like it's badass as shit, especially for someone that's like, hey, I like scary things. It's terrifying.
Do you have the artist's name?
I do. So the artist's name is Luis Jimenez. The interesting part and why there is speculation about Blue Mustang, or Blucifer as he is referred to by locals, is that Luis Jimenez actually was killed by Blue Mustang. A part of the head fell off on him while he was
I thought it was a leg.
Oh, was it a leg?
I thought it was
his head. I could be wrong.
There's a part of the body that fell off and punctured an artery.
Yeah,
right?
it severed an artery and pinned him against the wall. And then his assistants found him the next day. He had bled out and died because this part of the Mustang had fallen off. Granted, it's a huge ass Mustang, so I guess accidents happen, but it didn't start out well, and it made a lot of people highly suspicious about this Blue Mustang.
Yeah.
Blue Mustang was finished by Jimenez's assistants and his family and was finally unveiled in 2008, 15 years after he received the contract to make the piece. Yeah. The family considered not finishing the piece and destroying it completely, but chose literally to complete it just so they wouldn't be sued by the city of Denver, who had already brought legal response or recourse against Jimenez because it had taken him so long to make it.
Before he died.
That was before he even, the accident happened. So they were like, you know what, let's just fucking finish it and be done with this thing. Now, his son finished the piece, specifically the head, and installed the red eyes, which are the most jarring, I'd say, of the entire what we would call artistic piece.
100%.
Yep. In honor to represent his father's father, who who ran a neon shop in New Mexico, where his father began his work as an artist. I think. Do you have anything else for Blucifer?
I also heard that the reason why the eyes glow like that was to symbolize how wild the West was.
That's fair. I have also heard that it was a tradition, or it was born out of a tradition, or this old historical story of a literal blue horse that was the leader of all of these wild horses that could always find water and grass and had red eyes. And they wanted to you have specifically throughout Native American culture, lots of images specifically of animals that are significant to the people. I don't know if you see that a whole lot with other cultures, but they were kind of honoring an animal that meant a lot because the people could follow this wild Mustang to find where grass and water, and they would literally just follow their horses where this crazy wild horse was going, and they would have food and water, and their tribes would be able to set up camp for a week and then continue on when it was gone. So they were kind of honoring that.
That makes the most sense.
Yep.
Out of all of them, why did they not go with that?
What do you mean? Why did they not go with that?
Why did the original artist not say that?
Oh, I don't know. I know, but I think that was he had made a smaller statue that was at I think it was the University of Kansas or University of Oklahoma. I can't remember which one.
How far?
No, it was small.
I mean, how messed up? So
it didn't kill him.
I mean, it was the same.
No, it was. I'm guessing it wasn't the size. My guess, but it was probably
also
5 feet tall.
It was also a blue horse.
Yes. Yep. And then they
Hmm.
kind of contracted him to like make a bigger one, and then he fucking died.
Yeah.
Pretty intense.
It's a big ass 40-ass horse, dude.
All right. The next piece of art we're going to talk about is the gargoyles.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hammer on this, or you want me to take this one?
Keep going, baby.
All right. At the end of both the east and west terminals, there are gargoyles climbing out of suitcases, watching over the baggage claim. We can obviously make ties to churches and Catholic architecture, in the fact that gargoyles were initially meant to keep away evil spirits and protect those within.
Mm-hmm. Ward off evil spirits is what their initial response to do.
Yep. I don't know. That's pretty much all I really have for the gargoyles. Do we want to?
No.
I feel like we'll get into.
No, that's pretty much it as well.
All right. One more massive piece of the unveiling of the Denver National Airport was Leo Tanguma's murals. They are both titled Children of the World, Dream of Peace, as well as Peace and Harmony with Nature. Do you want to talk about these at all? Peace and Harmony with Nature is like with all the dead animals in the front.
Why don't you go ahead and explain them, and then I'll
All
kind of do my commentary. Sorry,
No, you're good. We're gonna flash these up so you guys can also see what we're talking about. But in Peace and Harmony with Nature, we have all of these dead and extinct animals, and there are plants and children, and those are like the primary focus of this piece. Now, we should say that these murals are done. Let's call them two separate murals, but they're done in two panels each as well. So there are 4 panel murals, and they kind of serve as complementary to each other, to where one side kind of shows a positive, and one side shows a negative.
Mm-hmm.
So back to the beginning. Peace and Harmony with Nature. We have these dead and extinct animals. There are plants and children. They are the focus of the piece. There's a leopard and a turtle that are definitely dead, and like the turtle's like surrounded in plastic. And there are also these children who are in coffins. Really strange. There's also somehow like this weird whale on the left flying through the air, which doesn't make... I don't quite understand what that reference is, but hey, maybe it's like we're fucking up the planet so bad that the whales are leaving. They're flying to space or something. The coffins are holding 3 children. There's a black, a Native American, and a Jewish woman at the bottom of the painting. Several of these animals are held. So there's also several animals that are held in glass cases all throughout the painting. There's a forest behind those animals and these children that are engulfed in flames. And then in the very, very background, we see a city that is engulfed in flames, covered by a smog that may or may not be interpreted as some kind of biological weapon. One of the children seems to be holding a piece of a tablet that bears striking resemblance to the Mayan tablet that prophesied the end of the world in 2012. And this installment is, like I said, part of a 2-piece. The second part is almost the exact opposite, where it shows a diverse group of children and animals all celebrating in front of this strange glowing flower. I don't quite understand. Like, I get it that they're like all celebrating and maybe like there's some new flower, but I just don't totally understand what the flower is. Do you have any ideas? Or should we talk about that?
You're also missing a very giant piece of the first painting.
Oh, what is it?
The Nazi soldier.
Oh, that's in the next painting.
Yeah, it's in the first one.
No, this is that's you're thinking of Children of the World, Dream of Peace.
Okay. Sorry.
So this one is like the very much. So Tanguma has expressed.
All right, what's this one called?
Children of the World, Dream of Peace is the second one.
So this is
Peace and Harmony with Nature is the first one. It has like the animals, and then there's like the 3 dead children in the front, and then there's like the fire, both the city on fire as well as yeah. You're looking at it now.
Yeah.
Right?
That one.
Yes. Correct. And there's like the dead like leopard, as well as some other things.
Sorry, my mistake. Yep.
You're all good, dude. So the second painting is honestly the way more fucked up one. And it's called Children of the World Dream of Peace. Much like Tenguma's other piece, it is split in between two separate panels that sit in opposition to each other. The first panel shows a child either asleep or dead in a pile of rubble, a city in shambles, a massive Nazi-esque soldier with a gas mask on, holding a rifle, impaling a dove on a machete. The second part of the painting actually has a similar style to the second part of the other mural, where everyone is celebrating, but instead of the growing flower, it is the same dead soldier that everyone is gathered around. It is the same soldier that is dead that everyone is gathered around. There are doves flying above everyone's head. You can look at the picture of it now. What else do we need to mention about that? There's a whole bunch of people that are like technically refugees that are fleeing this completely war-torn city.
Mm-hmm.
It is obviously a commentary on the horrific, like the horrors of war, I would say. And then the second part is all of these children, and it's weird. They have all of these swords, and they're all kind of bent and broken. The Nazi that is in the first picture is definitely dead,
Super
and everyone's
dead.
celebrating and having a kick-ass time, and they're all bringing their flags, and all the weapons are broken, and there's peace and joy and rainbows and all kinds of children celebrating. And I don't know. It's just funny because like there's definitely a Nazi that is super dead, and all of the kids are like, "Woohoo! We're having a great time."
Exactly. Makes me think of mass genocide.
Yeah, something like that.
Peace on earth.
Anyways,
Or
there's one more that
the
I
Jehovah Witness panel that people or the Jehovah Witnesses bring you. They're like, look how peaceful
had.
this.
Look how great everything is.
Cheers.
Hey, cheers, dude. The last piece of artwork, it's called Dual Meridian. Do you want to look this up real quick?
Sure.
You're gonna be blown away.
Am I?
Yep.
Am I?
Mostly this one's a new one. It was installed, I think, 5 years ago, and it is a flat map of the world. It's called Dual Meridian by David Griggs. It's just a new, interesting art piece that was installed there.
It's all about flat Earth, right?
It is 100% about flat Earth,
Oh, yeah, I
dude.
remember seeing this.
You get it.
Yeah.
You know what you're talking about.
Bummer. Stay.
All right. So we've covered all of the weird installations of art that were around when it was first unveiled at the opening of the Denver International Airport. The art is ridiculously strange,
Mhm.
oddly cryptic, and also seems to fuel a myriad of conspiracy theories that have plagued the Denver International Airport since its opening and maybe even before. Let's talk
Even
the
before the
conspiracies,
opening?
dude. Yeah, dude. Even before the opening, from construction.
Fair enough. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
I agree.
All right. First conspiracy theory concerns the New World Order. Jamie, do you want to try to break down how the New World Order is tied into the Denver International Airport?
So, the rich elite of the entire world have made the destination for the end of the world to be the hub under the Denver International Airport, where people like Hillary Rodham Clinton,
HRC?
and
Ario?
yeah, and then the Queen.
Yep.
R.I.P.
Dude, I got dirt on the Queen.
I'm sure you do.
We're going to talk
You
about it
dirty
too.
bitch. So the rich elite have a thing called the New World Order, where they murder. Their plan is to murder half the world and make their perfect
They're perfect
world.
world.
In harmony. Yeah,
Yeah.
harmony. That's what the New World Order is to me.
I think-
Did I hit it?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think that the biggest things that we need to mention is like, especially at the very throughout. So the New World Order is this completely hypothetical or real. I guess we don't know. In the past, it seems that dictators and stuff that have tried to just straight up take over the world do a pretty bad fucking job because they usually just get fucking killed or taken over, and then everything goes back to what we would call a status quo. The New World Order operates in the shadows and is not so obvious about their plans. But it is quite distinct that the New World Orders, in conspiracy terms, and we may eventually do an episode on the New World Order or the Illuminati. I feel like at this point, those terms almost can be used interchangeably. But anyways, the point is, the New World Order is a small group of elite individuals who want to rule the world, but the only way that they can actually do that is 1, by decreasing the population, 2, by installing themselves as forefront professionals or leaders in these positions, and 3, they have to operate in a way that makes us trust them, right? So
just like Thanos.
Whoa. Oh, that was sick, dude. We just did that. Can you put the gloves on when we do it?
No.
Come on, man.
I don't know how to do that.
You can figure it out, I'm sure.
You can figure it out.
Anyways, there's a whole lot of I would say circumstantial evidence that would point towards the fact that the Denver International Airport was built as a primary hub for the New World Order to wait out the global apocalypse so that they could resurface and then command the entire world. I think we can start with the construction. There's a lot of shit down there that no one fucking knows about.
Yep.
There are 5,300 miles of fiber optic cable, which is an absurd amount. I think that maybe it's running to NORAD, but that's just a...
What's NORAD?
Oh, we did not... Well, we kind of talked about NORAD at the very, very beginning. Cheyenne Mountain.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. It is the western part of the United States center for central defense. It's a whole bunker that is literally built into a mountain where, in the case of global pandemic, the president of the United States or whoever is still left, it's what they call the COG, the Continuance of Government Act. They will have a place to operate and give orders. They can plug into fucking all our shit.
Mm-hmm.
This is also all conspiracy based. So
thank you, Patriot.
I don't know if anything is real here, but apparently they can plug in from Cheyenne Mountain into everything that we do. They can broadcast, whatever they need to broadcast to the American public specifically about the world ending and this and that. The fiber optic cable serves as a pretty good fucking highway to Cheyenne Mountain. I do not think that there's a massive tunnel that goes from Denver International Airport to Cheyenne Mountain. Do you?
I don't know.
There's a lot of fucking dirt that came out.
Why would there be so many fiber optics?
Oh, no. I think that they maybe laid fiber optic cable, but there's no way they built a tunnel, right? It's 100 miles of tunnel.
No. You think from the airport to Cheyenne Mountain is 100 miles? Is that for sure?
It's give or take.
Well,
it's Colorado Springs.
It's only 45 miles from Denver to Colorado Springs.
What?
Yeah.
That can't be real.
Yeah, it's like 100 miles of Pueblo.
I'm putting you in the chat, dude. You got to look it up.
Keep saying the chat.
I don't know why I keep saying the chat. While Jamie's looking that up, I'm going to mention a couple other things. There was an insane amount of dirt moved from the construction site at Denver International Airport. Now, apparently, there was, on record, there's 6 levels, which is a shit ton. of underground layers beneath the runways and beneath the actual terminals and concourses at Denver International Airport. Apparently, though, there is another 2 subfloors that are beneath Denver International Airport's 6 levels, 7 and 8, and apparently that's where all of this real shit is happening. What do you got? How many miles?
85.
85? All right. So it's not quite 100. No, but that's just to Colorado Springs.
40. Yeah.
You got to go to Cheyenne Mountain, dude.
Or Cheyenne Mountain.
It's way in the mountains.
You can't look up Cheyenne Mountain.
Sure you can.
Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. We do that.
It's close enough.
89.
89. All right.
It's
under 100 miles. Let's call it that. But like, to be fair, love that. It's still a big ass fucking tunnel if you're gonna build all the way from through fucking bedrock to from DIA to Cheyenne Mountain. I find that one maybe a little ridiculous.
I don't know. The New York subway, I'm sure that has over 100 miles of
Dude,
that.
The island of Manhattan isn't even as big as the Denver International Airport grounds.
Yeah, but it's not like to and from. There's like different sectors, and there's also like a part that takes them to Jersey City.
Yeah, you're onto something.
So
there. I don't think that. Yeah, but like also, someone would know that. Like
they're also building the boring.
It's
company.
not that far underground, though, right? I guess I don't know anything about the subway system, but I can promise you that they have to be a decent ways underground if they're fucking trying to.
Yeah, it's at least 3 stories. It's at least 3 stair steps, so it's got to be 3 stories down.
Okay. Yeah, 3 floors. Yeah. There's supposedly only 6 at DIA, but anyways, I just don't find it believable.
Okay.
I think that we should mention the buildings that were built and then just straight up not moved, not demolished, just buried underneath the fucking runways. That's got to be something crazy, right?
I assume so.
This is what we're talking about. The New World Order is trying to build a city so they can wait out the apocalypse. And they want to fucking put 7-story buildings underground to wait out this apocalypse. I think that has to be real, right?
I assume so. You keep asking me for.
Dude, I just want you to tell me I'm wrong or something. I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
This shit makes my brain go weird, dude. Turns all my bad feelings into good feelings.
Was it 7 stories that they built and they're like, all right, we'll just throw it underground?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Yeah.
These are. I should say that this part is, as we mentioned earlier, there's not a lot of evidence to say that this actually happened, but it is often reported that these buildings were built. They were around 5 to 7 stories tall, and instead of being demolished or moved to where they actually were supposed to be built, which would make way more fucking sense, they just dug out the ground beneath them and lowered them a floor at a time through these crazy jack systems. I don't fucking know, dude. I'm not I don't know what you want to call it, a mechanical engineer. Yeah, I'm not that guy.
You're not. That's true.
Nope. All right, what else with the NWO? We did talk about that. That was short for the New World Order. We have some art pieces that I think can't help but be mentioned. We have Leo Tanguma drawing specifically in the one that we mentioned first, where there's this city in the background that's completely on fire, but there's also this weird haze around this. And the interesting part is when it's actually no longer on display at Denver International Airport, but when it was continuously retouched. This weird smog that's sitting over the city. And obviously one of the ways that you would be able to kill off a whole population and keep yourself safe would be chemical warfare or biochemical warfare, right? So yes. Are Leo Tanguma's art pieces meant to signify that it's the NWO, New World Order, tipping their hat and saying, hey, this is how we're going to do it, kind of thing. People believe this very, very real.
I can see why.
Yeah. Why the fuck is it there?
What other airport has two paintings like this?
No
Exactly.
other airport. They're
These cocky sons of bitches.
The biggest thing also is the capstone.
Mm-hmm.
The Freemasons have been tied to the New World Order almost since their founding. I don't quite know the connection there. Like I said, maybe at some point we will do a episode on the Freemasons. We will also maybe do an episode on the conspiracy surrounding the New World Order, because it's not really at all specified who these people are. The capstone definitely has Masonic symbols on it. They say that perhaps there is a way to open the capstone that will either allow you into the secret underground bunkers to wait out global destruction. Yeah. They also think that in 2094, when they open the capstone, it's going to be a fucking plague that kills the whole fucking world.
What?
Yep.
I never read that.
No.
Where'd you find that at?
There is a tie back. We're doing a callback to Leo Tanguma.
Okay.
Right in front of the Children of the World Dream of Peace. There is these two mining carts, and they have AU in one cart and AG in the other. Now, initially, you would think, oh, AU stands for gold, AG is silver. But they have a strange tie to this, I don't know what you would want to call it, this airborne illness that can be known as the Australian antigen. That may or may not be what is trapped inside the capstone at Denver International Airport. And in 2094, we're going to learn what the fuck is in that capstone. We'll be alive.
See what I read?
You won't. You're going to be dead as shit. You're old as shit.
Fuck you. You're only 35 years. What I read was that Australian antigen was hepatitis.
We're merely talking about the conspiracies that surround this.
Okay.
And Jamie brings up a good point. The Australian antigen was actually a primary mover in the what was a test that was created to discover hepatitis B. So Australian antigen is not actually at all dangerous to you. It is a very easy way to detect. It's what they use to detect if you have hepatitis B now.
I think they said it was 95% is curable.
Yeah. Yep. They expose you to it and you recover, and then if you don't, I guess you die.
So if you have hepatitis when it comes out.
Yeah, if you have hepatitis, you're going to be in trouble. Don't go to Denver.
In 2095.
2094. Close.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I have all the information in front of me, and that's not fair to you.
I'm just making it up.
Let's see. Last about the New World Order. I think we covered the construction. The art. Do we need to talk about the gargoyles? I don't know if the gargoyles have a whole lot.
You already talked about the gargoyles.
Yeah, no, but we talked about the gargoyles as far as but I don't think they have anything to do with the New World Order.
No, not at all.
Other than the fact that they're just definitely fucking with people, and they're trying to The thing is with the New World Order is if it's real, they're super bad at hiding that they're there. It's kind of one of those things that they hide in plain sight by making you seem ridiculous by noticing these things. Right? Another ridiculous thing that has been supposed or is a conspiracy theory surrounding Denver International Airport is the fact that underneath the runways and underneath the terminals, it's not a New World Order safe house. It is, in fact, an alien bunker. Depends on who you ask. We have two different schools of thoughts here. Phil Schneider, who was involved with the war at Dulce, which is another he's legitimately worked for the U.S. government. These are like actual facts. Worked for the U.S. government and did have some severe security clearance. What is not at all fact and is related to him almost entirely as a personal experience was the fact that he not only shot and killed 2 aliens, but he shot one of the aliens and he straight up like shot a laser beam out of his chest and blew off 3 of his fingers on one hand and like almost killed him. But anyways, Phil Schneider's claim is that DIA serves as...
When did he talk about shooting an alien?
Oh, this happened... Like, he is pretty well known in conspiracy circles for propagating these, like, stories about...
He was.
Yeah, he's super dead. He was...
You can go into it in a little bit.
I'm not going to say suicided, but...
That's what they want you to think.
That's what... Who wants us to think? No,
The aliens.
Yeah. No, I think that, like... I'm torn, because, like, there's a part of it, like... It does look pretty much like he committed suicide, but at the same time, he fucking said on record in Denver that if he ever dies from his own hand, he didn't do it. It was someone else. He was also diagnosed as completely bipolar and very schizophrenic.
Yeah.
But he did work for the U.S. government and claimed that he had interactions with aliens and underground bases across the United States. Denver International Airport was one of those locations. He claims that there are... he claims that he ran into the short grays there, who are actually working with us. Think of E.T. He is a short gray. Yeah, but he's kind of grayish. I think.
No,
Correct me if I'm wrong.
The Grays, I think of like South Park.
Yo, hit it up in the chat.
Moon.
Yeah.
What's in the chat? I don't know what the chat is.
Yo, comments in the chat if you know exactly what race of alien ET is. But anyways, so the small grays and the tall grays are friends of ours, right? They are trying to help us.
I thought the tall Grays were not friends of ours.
I think the tall grays. Hit us in the chat.
Yeah.
Yo, go to the chat. Go to the chat. Hit us up.
Like a Carrie Russell movie.
Which one? It's called Tall Grays.
It's called The Grays.
Oh,
you ever seen that?
No.
Yeah, they're bad people.
That's cool as shit. I didn't know.
They still her kid.
You talking about the fourth kind?
No, the fourth kind was like in the 70s.
Oh no, I did see The Grays.
I think I made you watch it.
You did make me watch it. Yeah, that movie was bad as shit.
Like bad?
Like no, it's like good, bad.
Oh,
yeah, that was a good movie.
It was really good.
I really like that. Yeah, you might be right. Actually, I think those were the tall Grays. Anyways, one of the Grays are here to help us, right? They want to give us some technology, keep the government moving forward, right? And they're like, hey, kind of whatever for the rest of the population, but we're going to help the U.S. government because apparently we're super special. Get way into the future, way ahead of all these other countries, right? We have contact with these Grays. That is the claim of Phil Schneider. Another claim has been made by David Icke in his book, The Biggest Secret, where he claims that underneath Denver International Airport are the Anunnaki, aka reptilians. They are alien reptile humans that pretty much have been seeding human bloodlines for the last couple thousand years. We were talking about Queen Elizabeth earlier. Yep, they're involved with that. So, anyways, oh man, I forgot that I was going to mention Phil Schneider had this whole thing where his initial introduction into all of his work with aliens came from finding a cow that was filled not with just cow organs, but also human and monkey organs. And he said that it was dropped to them by aliens. This goes back to your story about the dude that was sewing in human remains into the cow.
I don't think it was him.
Well, you said it wasn't real. So,
Yeah, exactly.
dang. I guess, Phil Schneider, you're wrong again.
We'll see.
Anyways.
Any proof to back up that actually happened?
Ooh, I also had another thing, and I don't know if you can care to weigh in on this or not. You got any family in New Mexico?
No, but I lived there.
So you've lived there in a past life.
Yep. In this current life.
You have any time spent with the Morrison Knudsen Oil Company?
I did not.
Okay.
If I did, I'd be not right here. I'd be living the lavish life on a beach somewhere.
I would say that I think that you're tied into a global conspiracy through the Morrison Knudsen Oil Company.
Just because my name is the same?
Yep. Phil Schneider found his first alien base on accident working for the Morrison Knudsen Oil Company when his buddy was drilling down on one side and he was 10 feet away and he hit a complete bedrock that was not supposed to be there. He drilled all the way through it, found aliens. That is how the Dulce base happened.
I don't have any comment for this.
True government shill.
I'm sorry.
I didn't realize that the CIA had sent you to check on me. Keep me in check. Anyways, all right. So there are claims that there are aliens. So the Anunnaki are the lizard people, and they are really bad. They are trying to take over all of the world and all of our people, humans.
I thought they've already taken over everything.
Well, they're seeding themselves into, right? They've cross-populated into the human race to lines of certainly Queen of England, some presidents, although I don't know, it's not the same thing because presidents come and go. I don't know why they would spend a whole lot of time with U.S. presidents unless you're talking about people like the Kennedys, talking about the Bushes,
the Clintons.
Yeah, but like you have Bill and Hillary. Who the fuck else is coming up?
Well, I saw something that
is Chelsea Clinton running?
No, I don't think so.
Is she going to be Kamala's running mate? You heard it here first, folks. Chelsea Clinton.
I don't have to say anything. He'll just like throw 7 theories down.
Harris Clinton 2024. Dude,
so they said
what? You're crazy. So the whole theory is that underneath DIA, the reptilians are operating their base, and this is their primary source. They're not at Area 51. They don't give a shit about Area 51. They are operating out of Denver International Airport as their center to disrupt and fuck with all of the humans in the entire world. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much all the evidence. Like, okay, there is some funny evidence. It has definitely been shown, and we'll flash up a picture. In one of the tunnels, there's definitely an alien that's drawn on the side of one of the tunnels that's in DIA. It's a really crude, like gray-like drawing, so I don't think it's the reptilians because they don't look like that. Maybe it's the Greys. I guess Phil Schneider could be right. Also, it's been shown that here and there, workers that are like shuttling baggage around will wear alien masks.
Yeah, they wear
thinking they're funny
just to fuck with people.
Yeah, thinking they're funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
I don't think it's fucking funny.
I think it's funny.
I don't think it's fucking funny, dude.
I think it's funny.
They're poking fun at me, dude.
Why?
Because I want to believe.
Oh, poor guy.
That's a quote. David Duchovny, you're welcome. You don't need my help. Never mind. All right, so I think are we good to move on from the aliens? I don't know if we have a ton of
you don't even have to ask me, dude.
I don't think we have a ton of evidence of the aliens being involved.
There's not a lot of evidence.
Just the fact that there's shit underground that we don't know what's down there, I think, just is the only reason that there's aliens
100%.
involved.
Everything else was just.
Yeah. The third one, and I think this is by far the most likely, is that underneath Denver National Airport is for sure secret military operations, testing, as well as bunkers for our government.
Yes.
I think this is real.
Yeah, it makes the most logic sense.
Yeah.
Because the two biggest military bases in the West Or one's in Cheyenne, the other one's in Colorado Springs.
Yep.
So it's like equal distance.
Yep. It's also,
in
yeah.
between.
He's talking about not Cheyenne Mountain. He's talking about Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Yeah.
Yep. We should clarify that. Denver is literally right in between those two.
We found out 100 miles in between both of those.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, dude, you're gonna get addicted, dude. Chill.
It's too late.
Bummer.
Yeah, I think that the artwork doesn't lend a whole lot to this theory.
No,
I don't think that the capstone lends a whole lot to this theory. I think that the construction owes a whole lot to this theory.
yes,
There is so much dirt that was moved from underneath the AA that, and like you have the fact that for sure there were contractors that were hired, fired, rehired at a brand new spot that they had no idea. Like, okay, you're now working on this. You were working on that. You're not anymore. They don't want, and like this is like classic government like misdirection stuff. They don't want everyone to know what the fuck is going on. There have been reports by workers that were working on projects that were like, hey, they're like putting bunker doors in underneath here. I think that 100% DIA is almost like Cheyenne Mountain almost serves as a false flag for DIA. I think that real NORAD has moved and migrated from Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado Springs to underneath Denver International Airport. And they make it seem so ridiculous that it would be there. And that's why they would put it there.
I think it would have to be very deep to be able to like pull all the tanks down there.
Well, I mean, I don't know about tanks, but
You got tanks in Cheyenne.
that's very true. They definitely have like ridiculous arsenal.
No, I definitely think
Cheyenne
they're.
Mountain.
So what I believe
Talk to me.
is there's a way to go to each one of those military bases from DIA.
Underground?
Yes.
You think there's a tunnel?
Yes.
You're on camera. You're going to admit you think there's a tunnel between DIA and Cheyenne, Wyoming?
Cheyenne, Wyoming, and Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado Springs.
I love it.
Well,
I don't disagree with you. I'm just highly skeptical. It's a long fucking ways, but it's like, it's doable, dude.
Well,
with like nuclear drilling and stuff like that, it's fucking possible.
When you think about it, like, if there was some sort of like or war invasion, or say some other country invades us, if they wanted to get all the military advisors or anyone to those centrally located spots, if they fly overhead, they're going to be shot down or seen. So if they put
from Cheyenne Mountain for sure,
if there's
fucking ridiculous
if
guns
there's
at
everything
Mountain.
underground, like I've told you before, like Huawei like bought all the contracts for all the telecommunication between Cheyenne and Colorado Springs. Yeah. So all of that telecommunication from I-25 was all purchased at a discounted rate from Huawei from the state of Colorado. Like,
why?
Stupid.
What is that? Why?
Because they wanted to save money.
They wanted to save money, but the government doesn't give a shit about money, dude.
Well, the government doesn't give money to states. States have to come up with their own money.
For sure.
Yes.
But like, why would the government? I guess
that? If I fucking had no idea.
I have no idea why Huawei would be contracted to do that, and how the government would not say, you definitely can't fucking hire this Chinese company to install telecommunications through this whole thing.
They did years later.
Oh, right. Okay.
Years later, they were like, hey.
Oh.
Did
they pull that out?
They told them that they had to pull them out. And they were like, can you replace it? And the government was like, no, you have to pay for it.
They don't need
and so
it,
Colorado was like,
it's already in the fucking ground, dude.
Yeah.
We already have the only communications we need is fucking underground between Cheyenne, Wyoming and Cheyenne Mountain.
We'll see.
That is really interesting. Again, I'm going to like harken back to the fact that like these, like, specifically the military one, doesn't seem ridiculous. And for whatever reason, Denver International Airport has totally embraced making fun of anyone that thinks that any of this conspiracy shit is real.
Yeah. Are you? We're moving on from the segue from the.
Yeah, I mean, military. Like, I think that, like, unless you have more to mention about the military, I think that, like, the military reason is, like, the biggest one. I think that there's certainly some, like, why would they not be, like, it's a central hub in the U.S. It is easy to get to for the most part. It's not a major city like LA, New York, Chicago. It's up and coming, but that's, like, not what they planned on when they fucking built this place.
Yep.
I would say that there's a good fucking reason to do some testing, to build a bunker, to plan on almost false flagging Cheyenne Mountain as the place that the president will go, when really he's going to end up at Denver.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Right? I mean, like, yeah, they know where you're going to be at when you're in Cheyenne Mountain. It has ridiculous defense capabilities, though, so I guess I kind of am not totally sure. But it's a little bit, there's not an airport at Cheyenne Mountain. It's just one in Colorado Springs. So it still takes you a little bit. But either way, I think that it's the most logical out of all of the conspiracy theories that, for sure, there's something under DIA that's meant to protect specifically important presidents or presidents at all, not just the important ones. Senators, the global elite. I think that, like, and we're not talking the New World Order. I'm talking about, like, people that are important will be shuffled there in the cases of potential catastrophe for the world.
See, and I think all the signs point to the Anunnaki.
You do?
Yeah.
Why?
Because a few people that worked for the airport put on lizard hats. They put on lizard hats.
I think you're a fucking asshole.
What?
No, I totally agree. It's obviously the Anunnaki. That's the reason why the Denver International Airport seems to think it's super fucking funny to make fun of anyone that brings up conspiracies.
I think they just.
I guess they're not making fun of, but they're
going
like
along.
They're rolling with it.
They're going along with it, and they're mocking it.
Yep. Most notably, I think the gargoyle that makes fun of, like, welcome to Denver Internet, or like,
yeah, they built.
Welcome
so
to...
they put a mechanical gargoyle at the entrance of DIA, and it, like, makes jokes about.
It says shit like, welcome to the new home of the Illuminati. I mean, the Denver International Airport. Have a safe flight, and don't forget to buckle your seatbelt. Like,
it's pretty funny.
Dumb shit like that. That, like, it's funny, but it's also, like, they know what they're doing, and I kind of don't mind it, other than the fact that they're fucking hiding in plain sight, and I hate it when people are like, oh yeah, like, there's definitely conspiracies happening, because they're also, like, whenever they're doing construction in the airport, they block off, like, sections of it with these huge tall panels. I've seen these. You have as well.
Yep.
It's like, what are we building next? Is it like a new terminal for Denver International Airport, or is it the secret base for the New World Order? And that will, like, literally be, like, on a placard.
No, they'll put it on the whole entire wall.
Yeah, it's this huge, like, on these huge panels. It's just absolutely ridiculous how hard they've just, like, you know what? We can't stop the conspiracies. And that's kind of what they've said. We can't stop the conspiracies. We might as well embrace them. To the fact that, like, only 2 years ago in 2022 did they remove, so they put it in 2018. They removed it in 2022. The Museum of Conspiracies about DIA. They had it in the airport, which is, like, kind of love it. Like, hey, you want to know what they are?
I never saw it, did you?
I didn't either. No, I didn't even know about it until we started researching this thing. And now I'm bummed because it left a couple years ago. But hey, it is what it is. I've seen the gargoyle. I've seen the capstone. I've definitely seen
The murals.
the murals.
So what was in the museum?
So they had so there was like they would have like one screen that would just play like YouTube videos
Of the conspiracies?
of conspiracy theories on repeat. They had I can't remember, like that was like the big one I saw that was like, oh, and like on this screen here they like did an interview with the guy, like a video interview. He's like, right here we have like a screen that literally just plays YouTube videos on repeat about conspiracy theories surrounding the Denver International Airport. They had pictures because they took down the Leo Tanguma murals. So they took pictures of them and then put them like in context on one side, and then the skeptic, like let's call it like the skeptic side on one side, and then the factual side on the other. And they did that with like a lot of things. Like they had the like pictures of like the underground tunnels with the baggage debacle.
Mm-hmm.
They had pictures of that. They kind of like a little bit of the stuff that we talked about. They like had pictures of it, and then like the actual explanation for what happened, which is fucking obvious that they would do that. Because
You know what makes me think?
tell me,
Signs of the government. Signs that they're like have like it makes me think more that it's like a military operation.
yes,
because
it's a
of that.
false flag. Like
Because they're like,
trying to say this
hey.
is ridiculous. Obviously, this is not
It's like a
happening.
magician's first trick.
Yeah, show the
I
card.
mean, like, hey, here, what's in my hand?
Look over here.
What's going on? You don't know
Yeah.
what's going on over here. Yeah. All right, we're in the same agreements. Don't fucking come after us, government. We don't have anything. I already owe you.
You don't know
all my
what we
money.
have.
I already owe you all my money.
All right. I think that's going to conclude Denver International Airport, man.
Ooh. All right.
Do
With that
you
being
have
said-
anything else?
No.
We kind of went through
Not-
all the conspiracy.
not that I
We
can
through all
think
the
of, yeah.
facts, through the conspiracy theories. I think we fucking
Yeah.
we finally did it.
The truth is out there, is that they say in all different movies, right?
They don't even. I don't even. They did make a X-Files movie. No, that's not X-Files. I want to believe is X-Files.
No.
Um,
The truth is out there is what? The third
you got
kind?
your phone. You got your phone. Look it up.
You can't. It's broken.
Oh, what do you mean? It's broken?
Let's just go. All right. With that being
The
said,
truth is out there, though.
Yeah.
The booze is out there too. Go get some.
Boozes, yeah. I'd like to thank everyone for listening. If you took the time to listen to this whole thing, then you obviously love us and want to be our friend. So please like and subscribe.
Big hearts in the chat. Big hearts in the chat.
Hearts in the chat.
It's in the chat. All right,
What do
you
you
guys. Next time, you got to tune in. We're covering a legitimate hometown murder that took place. I could run there and beat Jay Brown in a race.
Don't name.
I could run there and beat him in 40 seconds from where I am right now. I would literally smoke him. I'd probably be able to do it there and back twice. That's how close this crime took place to where we are recording at this very moment. Steamboat Springs, hometown murder. We're excited about this one.
Yep.
Anyways, oh shit, I don't have any more whiskey left.
I have tons, dude.
Hey, dude. Cheers on
Cheers.
another episode.
All right. Have a good night. Drink down those demons.
Drink them down. Drink them down.